Okay, welcome to Moxie Monday, guys. My favorite day of the week, the busiest day of the week, and life is always full of surprises. And so I'm so glad whether you're on here live or whether you're watching this recording, I love you. I am obsessed with this team. I am obsessed with this community, and I truly feel like it is a mission of mine to just continue to help all of us become better. And that keeps me accountable because I hope to lead in a front kind of manner. I hope to lead with my positive outlook, with some discipline, with some work ethic, with some consistency, and you could do the same for your team and for your challengers. So I'm going to share my screen because tonight we're going to be talking about this little thing between our ears, your noggin. We're going to talk about your mindset. I'm going to focus a lot on mindset in October. Last month, we focused on who wants to be the star student and type in the chat box the theme for September. Or unmute yourself because this is really like not formal. Anybody know?
Simplicity.
Dun, 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 dun. Julia, you got, oh, well, there's other people who said it, but she unmuted herself and it made me feel not so alone. Thank you. Simplicity, we focus on Simple September. I love it. Simple September. This month, we're really going to talk about mindset and belief. Not because I just want us to like feel warm and fuzzy inside, not because I want to beat a dead horse, but really action is going to be stirred up from the conviction you feel inside to really understand the opportunity, or if you can take it a step further, the responsibility you have as a Beachbody coach. Play again. Okay, we're back. Let me share my screen. Push the wrong button. Here we go. So we're going to talk about mindset a lot this month, but today specifically how to develop the mindset of a top earner. Now, mind you, I do make, I'm very thankful for the income that we make, but I'm not classifying myself in this category. I don't feel worthy of classifying myself as being a top earner. So this information is not necessarily from me or my mindset. This is my mindset for sure, but this is something that I am excited to be shoulder to shoulder with you in learning. So 3 ways that you will fuel your mindset to become a top earner and really increase your potential to blow it out of the water in your goals, in this business, in your life. I'm really building this up. This better deliver. I'm just kidding. Okay, first and foremost, mindset can be a constant battle. Can we get vulnerable a little bit here on the call? Are you guys cool with that? I see some people have their videos muted, some people don't. It's totally okay. But I see you, and I know you can see me in the corner. So who in here has ever, raise of hands, who in here has ever dealt with like feeling really down, whether it's like serious depression or just like for an extended period of time just being beat down? Hands up. Okay. You know that feeling where you wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, what's going to happen today? Or you're holding on to the baggage that happened yesterday and the day before and the month before, and it doesn't stop. Mindset is a battle. I don't think that there's ever going to be a season in our lives where we feel like we have that conquered. It's not like one of those things like we have arrived. Because the second that we think we have arrived in control, can you guys still see my screen? My slides? Okay, can you just see my slide, not everything else? Okay, perfect. So there's not going to be a time in your life where you feel like you've arrived. So just expect trials, expect bumpy roads. And I speak very vulnerably through this right now. And I feel like I've brought this up a lot in my trainings or just a lot in my content because it's what we're walking through. So I've not shared this publicly. I've shared this with a couple of my groupies. My son has some mental health stuff that we're working through, and it's new and it's scary and it's unknown. And it's hard for me as a mom to watch him struggle. It's hard for me as a mom to watch him be kicked out of kindergarten. It's hard for me as a mom to have to take him to pediatric neuropsychologists to get evaluated for much more serious issues than I thought was going on. So I'm sitting here thinking, wow, Laura, okay, what am I going to do about it? Because if I want to be an example and a leader in my family, one, like I'm going to just rise to the occasion. I'm going to present myself as a positive beacon to my family, specifically to my son, because he has no clue what's going on. But me, I equate it as, okay, if I'm supposed to be a leader but there is a lot of stuff going on behind me, or I'm battling anxiety myself, or I'm trying to figure out like what I can research, what I can read, but I also have these other responsibilities. Do you guys feel me? Who has a full-time job on top of this? Okay. Who is a mom on top of Beachbody? Okay. So you know what it feels like when you're pulled in many directions, but then you still have this excitement and conviction and commitment and enthusiasm to build this online business, but you're pulled in many directions. So when we fix our mindset, that will equip us to conquer what we need to for this business while still being where we need to be, when we need to be, how we need to be in the other life responsibilities. There's such a powerful example here when you're talking about, maybe example is a bad word, but there's such a powerful visual here when we talk about having to control our emotions and set that aside and have emotional maturity and think, okay, Laura, okay, Danielle, okay, Kelly, Julia, Chrissy, Ruth, I want us all to step up to the plate and say, I will not let my mind and my mindset and my emotions beat me today. Because when you do that, when you allow that worry, that anxiety, that pressure, that stress get to you, you're not helping anybody. You're not helping yourself, your family, your finances, your kids, your husband. So obviously working through your mindset is much, much, much farther than just your role as a Beachbody coach. But I think about our responsibility to be vulnerable and real, but yet positive in the midst of life going on. When we're talking about leading our challengers, when we're talking about leading our coaches, I don't want us to drop the ball. I want us to follow through with what we're committed to doing. I'm talking about getting in the habit of under-promising and over-delivering instead of focusing on all the hype in our marketing and our post. And then when we finally get them into a challenge group, we're like, here, there. We kind of show up. We kind of serve them. We're kind of okay with our workouts. And then about halfway through the challenge, we dip out because nobody's participating anyways. I'm talking about you having the integrity to finish what you start. And it all is up here. It's all about your mindset. Okay? So there are, I hate when that happens. There's a couple of ways to break down the definition of a goal. And when we're talking about wrapping our mind around a goal, let's focus on two different things. One, a goal is made up of what you want, and it's also made up of what you don't want to do. And I know that might sound kind of crazy, but you have to consider both of those when you're thinking about the goal. Because, okay, you want this. Maybe you want a higher income. Maybe you want to start earning a couple of $100s a month. Maybe you want to hit Emerald rank. Maybe you want to add a coach this month. Maybe you want to hit Success Club this month. But what are you willing to do to get that goal? And isn't that the differentiator? I'm not going to be one to preach to you that you have to hustle until you sacrifice everyone that you love. Like, I don't want you to step on people to get ahead. I've played that game in corporate America. I've played that game with Beachbody. And I'm just telling you now that family first always. And, you know, you have other responsibilities, but it doesn't mean that you can just do this when it's convenient. It doesn't mean that your responsibilities as a coach can just happen when you're comfortable, when you feel like it. Because if you allow building a business to be led by your emotions, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to feel sad real fast when you look at your results at the end of the year and think, wow, I made nothing like I thought I would. Wow, I didn't advance my business at all. Wow, I feel really embarrassed that I said I was going to be losing the weight and I didn't. So if you have a goal, what are you willing to do to get there? Is it I'll do whatever it takes, however long it takes? That's my mentality. Because the pockets of time and the hours that I've set aside to work with you guys, we already talked about with your full-time job or your other responsibilities. If you really carve out the time and you're responsible with that, if you're disciplined in the actions that you're taking, you absolutely can achieve the goals that you have to add coaches, to hit Success Club, to have high PV in retail, to share these products and services that we know and love because we're getting the results, to lead these challenge groups, to funnel those challengers over to coaches, to build into Moxie, who is an established culture and team that I hope that you're proud to add people to. And so there's three things. There's three fueling factors to really become a stronger person in your mindset. First is enthusiasm. Cheat word right there. Enthusiasm, you already saw it. And really, if you think about this whole mindset thing, let's put it into terms of an analogy, like running. I trained for a marathon back in 2011, I believe. Do we have any runners? Are you guys runners? Okay, cool. Anybody ever run like a 5K? Let's do like a auction thing. 5K. What about a 10K? We even have those. What about half a marathon? A marathon. Dang, you ran a marathon, Danielle? Unmute yourself. She said a half. Just a half. Okay, cool. Me too. I was about to say, you ran a marathon? I love that. It's awesome. My knees couldn't handle it. So you guys who have been runners, you maybe trained for it. Okay, let's bring this whole entire mindset thing back to the moment when you were training for that race. Maybe you just woke up one morning and you ran it. That's awesome. But maybe you trained for it in advance. Hopefully you did, so you didn't injure yourself. I only run from being chased. That's good. That's great. I mean, your dogs. You run for your dogs. Your dogs chase you. Your dogs are big. I would run from your dogs. She said, yeah. Okay, so if you think about this in the sense of a marathon, you get really excited, right? Like, what if enthusiasm? Okay, that's actually a really good segue, Julia, because enthusiasm is, yes, usually initiated through excitement, but it could also be initiated through a burst of emotion. If you were running for your life, that would be some enthusiasm, and you would run and you would dominate that 40-yard dash, right? Like, you would go for it, but you're excited. You have this level of enthusiasm. And so when you start your business, if you're a new coach, if you're old coach, when you start, you're excited, you have this enthusiasm, and you're running hard because of that emotion. But just like when you're running, there is a point in that race where you think, oh God, okay, this is not really fun anymore. My legs are tired. Okay, whew, I am winded. My energy has run out, and you have to decide, are you going to stop, or are you going to continue to the finish line? Are you going to force your legs to keep on moving even when your lungs are burning, even when your legs are on fire? That's a deciding point, not only in running a race, but also in training and building a business. This business specifically, in network marketing specifically. You have to decide if you're going to be training for that half marathon, but you only have the enthusiasm to last, let's say, that 40-yard dash. What are you going to do at that point? Are you going to be like, I don't feel like it anymore, so I'm going to slow down? You will never advance your business if you only run until your enthusiasm runs out. You cannot trust your enthusiasm to take you to the big goals that you have. You will run out of that excitement, because sometimes inviting people and getting no's doesn't feel good. Sometimes staying up a bit later and creating some content doesn't excite you. Sometimes missing that goal really sucks. But once you realize, you can have emotional maturity and business smarts to let the emotional aspect get you going. Sometimes, like, you'll have some parts where you're on fire. You'll go to an event, you're back on fire. You'll gain a new coach, you're back on fire. But you can't allow that enthusiasm to dictate when you show up and how you serve people. So the second point and the second part of making sure that you're fueling yourself for that long-term distance and for that long-term success and for your mindset is commitment. Commitment is going to be doing what it takes as long as it takes. That's the deciding point. When you're running, when you're training for, let's say, that half marathon, you hit that wall. Maybe at mile 3, you're like, oh, okay, here we go. And people are starting to pass you, and you're like, dang, that grandma just passed me. What's going on? Like, I thought I was in shape. She's a beast. You hit that wall. Now you just have to focus on the commitment you made. You committed to pass that finish line. What's your finish line right now? I know a lot of my PS coaches, you guys made the commitment to be diamond by the end of the year. What does that finish line look like for you? When is it going to happen? Are you doing the work to get there? Are you going to be adding coaches? And it's not just, I'm doing the work. It's, hey, do you believe that you can literally be a diamond leader? Do you believe that you have what it takes to be a diamond leader? And if you don't yet, then that right there tells me that your mindset is not right, that you're limiting yourself, that like you have such ceiling on yourself. And so you're talking it into existence, but the belief is not there, which means the enthusiasm won't get you going, which means the commitment won't be there, because when the going gets tough, you're going to throw in the towel and say, I just knew it all along. I knew I wasn't meant for it. And that will block you from ever achieving that finish line. The commitment aspect is I will say the make it or break it. Like the commitment aspect to making sure you have the mindset of I'll do what it takes as long as it takes. And it's about taking action. So I'm committed until. It's not I'm committed until, for us moms, until school starts back for my kids. I'm committed until this vacation because I can't work out then. Or I'm committed until it gets really hard. I'm committed until I hit Success Club, and then I'm going to slow down. It can't be the until. It has to be gonna keep going. I'm committed. And so, yes, even when you hit that finish line, we've said it before, once you hit Success Club, okay, if you hit Success Club by the middle of the month, or if you hit 500 PV by the middle of the month, how else can you improve yourself? This is not like a training on you're never good enough. If you hit your goal, you need to keep going. No, I want you to celebrate and be excited. But I don't also want you to get defeated if when you hit, let's say, that 500 PV, you feel really good about it. And then I lean in, I'm like, all right, girlfriend, now what else are you made of? Like, can you prove to me what else you have in you? Because I know that each of us are capable to building six-figure business incomes, however you want to say that. But is something blocking you here? So we talked about emotional maturity and needing that like long-term view, and not having the limited belief of saying, I am only committed to where I'm comfortable. And, it really doesn't feel comfortable to increase the invites I send each day, because I'm already really having a hard time finding 5 people a day to invite. But what if you had to step it up and invite 10 people a day? I just don't have enough followers, and I don't have enough time, and I'm still working on these people, and I don't have the system set up. These are excuses that I've heard before. I don't have a good system, and so I lose their names all the time, and I still have to follow up with the other people from last month. My challenge to you is keep it simple. Keep it simple. Don't wait until things are perfect. I've said before, don't wait until all the lights are green to leave your house. You need to just take action and go for it. Sometimes increasing those invites is the big difference between the traction you need to build your business or the traction you need to continue to be mediocre. And I don't want you guys to be mediocre. You weren't created to be mediocre. You're like right now, the power of association, I want you to understand, like, you're surrounded by a team who has been elite, 3 years in a row, premier last year, but even though we hit all the elite requirements, we have upline leaders who are 15-star, 4-time 15-star, like 7-figure earners. We have all of the training and the secrets in network marketing at our fingertips. There is nothing hidden from us. There is nothing we cannot get our hands on as far as the resources we need to achieve anything we want in network marketing. We have everything we need. We have the resources, the tools, the training, the sisterhood, the community, the business company. Beachbody is legit awesome, right? We have the new program, so that's enthusiasm from the company. We have momentum going on all around us. So really, what is it? Maybe you do have the work ethic. I'm not coming down on you, but maybe it's your mindset. Maybe what's holding you back is not necessarily your intentions, but it's your mindset. The third thing that I want to talk about is your conviction, okay? So that is whatever influencing belief you have in your life. And I'm talking about, like, maybe you have some friends who have made fun of you. I was there, okay? I get it. Maybe you have some people that you're uncomfortable with. You're like, oh, now every time I see them, they're going to think I'm trying to sell them something, and I don't really want to be that person. And my parents think that this is so silly that I'm in this thing. My parents thought I was silly. That's why I brought that up. But y'all, none of that matters. Like, if you have the conviction to change your life, if you have the conviction to improve your lifestyle, if you have the conviction, the deep deep, 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 deep why to really transform your life, then you would do it. Let me tell you a little different scenario between somebody who says they want it and somebody who needs it. Okay. So when I first started as a coach, back in 2013, I was working in corporate America. I was working full-time there, drove an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back. Danielle knows what I'm talking about. I was nursing my oldest son at the time full-time, so I would pump in dark closets in the office. They also had me traveling a lot because I was in charge of events, so I would be traveling, weeks at a time away from my 8-month-old, and I wasn't happy. I wasn't making enough for what I thought I would deserved. I didn't feel appreciated. I felt like people were stepping on me to get ahead. My boss started noticing that I was getting sloppy and I was constantly stressed. I was developing heart palpitations, migraines, adult acne. I had the swine flu because of stress and my immune system was broken. I mean, I was like, holy crap, I'm 27 years old and I feel like I'm falling apart. PCOS, IBS, like acid reflux. I was a hot mess. I was like, what's going on with me? I am supposed to be at my prime, but I am falling the heck apart. So I knew I wanted to get out of that trap. For me, I felt like it was a trap. That's not everyone's story. Some people love corporate America. Y'all do it. But for me, that atmosphere was not healthy for me. So when Beachbody was presented to me, I was like, okay, I'll try it out. And then I tasted some of it. And I thought, this is phenomenal. These people are amazing. This business model is amazing. I believe that if I follow these steps, then I can reach this level of achievement and earn this amount of money that I need for my family. So I'm going to go for it. So I had that conviction, I had that commitment, and I had that enthusiasm. After that enthusiasm ran out, I don't know how long it took. I'm still enthusiastic, but it comes and goes. I had the conviction so deep because my back was against the wall. I wanted so bad to retire myself and come home so I can manage my schedule, so I could wear my pajamas, so I did not have to commute 3 hours a day, so I could raise my family how I wanted, and I wanted to be in charge of my day. I really, really wanted it. So when my back was against the wall, I showed up and I got there. And within a year, I was able to match that past income. And I was able to, put in my 2 weeks notice. I did that prior to being a year into the business. But, throughout that year, I did put in my 2 weeks notice because they were asking me to travel more. And my husband and I were like, we cannot do that. I cannot travel more. Long story short, fast forward to 2014, 15, 16, I was working hard. I was showing up. And I noticed that my income was kind of like, it was growing. The team was growing. And then all of a sudden it kind of plateaued. Our income kind of plateaued. And I was like, well, man, I guess that's fine because, I have all these babies now. And, we hit 8-star, but we're not at 8-star. I kind of bounce between 1 and 3 and 4-star now. But that's okay because I'm not capping out. I'm not capping out on the volume. And I just got complacent, even though I thrived with building community. I thrived with helping other people succeed. All of a sudden, my own personal achievement became something that I was afraid of because I had been so addicted to it before that I started to compromise my priorities. So I was afraid of that Laura. I was afraid of the Laura that I had been in the past in different jobs and stuff where I was like, I'm so addicted to achievement and approval that I didn't want to lose myself in the name of winning. You guys see what I'm saying? So I got complacent and I was like, I'm just going to let this be slow and steady. I'm going to show up. I'm going to hit success level 10. I'm going to add a couple of coaches a month. And those things are great. Those things are great. But true conviction comes when something else gets your back on the wall. Something else corners you and says, I'm shaking your life up a little bit. And holy moly, when your why increases, all of a sudden you realize, wow, there's a lot more that I have in me. I have a lot more in me. So here we are with my family situation. My son now needs a lot of therapies. He has a lot of expenses coming up with medical things. I might have to take them out of school to homeschool. I might have to pay out of pocket for other schooling. There's a lot of what ifs going on, figuring out what kind of diagnosis he's going to have. So what does that mean for me? My back is against the wall. And all of a sudden we look at our income and we're like, you know what? We've been comfortable for quite some time, but we have got to increase this business because we need to make more money to serve the family needs that we have. My conviction, you guys, have increased fourfold, tenfold, 100-fold. So I have been staying up late, waking up early. I am trying to relearn what it feels like to be a brand new coach, and it's very exciting. And my belief is very, very strong because I know the actions that I've put into place in the past month have really increased my productivity. Instead of just getting 1 or 2 new challengers last month, I was able to add 12 or 13 now. 13 new challengers to my life group. It's been a very, very long time since I've been able to do that. But instead of just 1 or 2, because that was the pace, that was safe, that was comfortable, and it was acceptable to my peers. Oh, good job, Laura. Like, you hit Success Club and you did this. And it was acceptable. But now my conviction is stronger. And I think, no way, Laura, what else are you made of? What else can you do here? So with that kind of conviction and discipline and why power, I realize the one solid framework of this business, because if you do what you say you should do, it's actually going to work. I'm proof of the product. It actually worked. 2, the commitment is there, even if it's in odd hours, even if in the past you had made excuses about how tired you are, how frazzled you are, how confused you are, how incapable you are. The commitment is there. You'll do whatever it takes, however it takes. And the conviction is there because your why is driving you to bust through walls that have previously held you back, to bust through fears, to bust through excuses, to really understand that skeptical people or having no's doesn't slow you down at all. It just gets you thinking outside of the box, thinking, okay, how can I be better? How can I reach new people? How can I meet the need that I have? What is your conviction, guys? What is your why for building this business? If it's not strong enough, you will grow complacent. That's it. If your why is not strong enough, you will grow mediocre and you will give in to the lie that you're just going to be good enough, that you're capable of this and that's it. I don't want any of us to live under that ceiling because we have a responsibility to influence people, to be better ourselves, and also be ahead of the needs of, let's say, our family. I don't want you guys to be in a position where you're financially strapped and stressed and at the point where you're like, I don't even know what's going on with my life. I want you to be ahead of that. So you're saving, you're getting out of debt, and you're really having that conviction to provide a future for your family. So if emergencies happen, you guys will be prepared and you'll say, wow, I'm really glad that I had the belief, the commitment, and the conviction when it mattered most. But then you might be thinking, okay. So Laura, okay, cool. I really don't want anything bad to happen to my life where like there's this big why and crazy thing, but how do I increase belief? Like, how do I increase my conviction? How do I increase my commitment? And I mentioned it a couple of times already, and it's the power of association. The making sure that you're surrounding yourself, it's kind of like osmosis. I believe, you know, like just sheer simply by showing up to team calls, perhaps for you, maybe coming to events, okay, maybe showing up for Super Saturdays, maybe listening to webinars and podcasts, or being more active in the team pages. Maybe through that kind of osmosis, your belief will increase. What happens when your belief increases? Are you guys paying attention? When your belief increases, your commitment increases, and then maybe your conviction, you finally believe it, and then it spirals, and it just grows and blossoms. If you want to be a top earner in this business, if you want your family life to be set, if you want to provide stability, consistency, sturdy living, if you want to feel so fulfilled in the action that you take and the efforts that you put into serving the people, your customers, your coaches, then you need all 3 of those things to fuel you. You really should not have one without the other. If you only have enthusiasm, it'll run out. If you only have a commitment, then, commitment will be like, well, I'll commit until this. But if you have the conviction, commitment, belief, guys, your business will change and you will soar. And then you will be able to lead your team to do that same thing. No longer holding yourself back thinking, I'm not capable, I can't do it. So here's what I want you to do. I have a challenge for you, okay? My October challenge, I am going to talk about mindset a lot, but I want us to get real with our whys. Okay, maybe that's a little selfish just because I'm real with my why right now, but maybe we all need to get back to that. Maybe we all need to get back to why we started this in the beginning. Why did you start this in the beginning? I'm not necessarily one to chase fancy titles or to tell you that that will make you feel good forever, but it does feel good for a little bit. It does. I loved hitting 8-star. I loved hitting elite, and I'm continuing to strive for that. Our team is still shooting for elite this year, and I'm confident that we can hit it. Those things are super, super awesome. But you know what's more awesome? Making an impact to those that you love, making a difference to maybe just this team, maybe your customers, maybe your coaches, maybe your spouse, maybe your kids, maybe a donation that you're giving to church. Those kind of things fuel me. Maybe it's just because like I'm a bleeding heart, but I love achievement. I love being at the top, but I also know what really matters is where God has me, and it's in Palm Harbor, Florida, under this roof with my family of 5, and I'm going to meet those needs first. And that's where my deepest conviction is stirred up, is when my family needs it, I'll do whatever it takes. And so here's me asking you, what is your why? Does your family need this? Do they need it enough for you to take the appropriate amount of action? Do they need it enough? Well, you will wipe out your fears, wipe out your excuses, and really get to the action needed. So I'm going to ask you to take big action. If we're talking about having a marathon mentality, that when your muscles burn, when your lungs are exhausted, when you have hit that wall, just like running for a marathon, that you will push through because you want a better life, you want more, you are ready, and you're proving that by showing up for this team call or listening to the recording because you want to better yourself. So here's my challenge. I want you, within the month of October, I know we have a whole month, but I want you to go ahead and get it over with. If you're listening to this, you can go ahead and get it over with, because I'll be talking about all day long. I want you to post a video in Moxie. You can record it or you can go live, but keep it within 5 minutes. I know it's hard, but just practice 5 minutes sharing your why. A real why. I know, like, it might be hard, might be vulnerable, and if it's not hard and vulnerable, maybe your why is not strong enough. I'm not trying to like create fake emotion. I'm just trying to get real here and say, you're going to have to figure out what is driving your conviction to show up for your goals and to show up for this team, for your business, for your life. You got to get serious with it. October is mindset, and we're going to reignite our why, and we're going to talk about it. I think that the more we hear of other people's why, it might also motivate us when we realize that our work ethic affects their why. When I realized that my work in this business could potentially help you in your income, it excites me. And I hope that you know that your work and your work ethic and you showing up, it helps my income. And I already shared with you my big why. And that's just the business model. That's not a secret. You guys know what volume does. You guys know what rank does. You guys know that everything that you do is a blessing to my family, and I'm grateful for that. But I shared with you my big why. I got through it without crying. Those words were great, but who knows if I'll do it tomorrow. But I love you guys, and I want this to be really, really, really real for you. Does that make sense? All right. Okay. Challenge. There are 6 of us on this call. I expect to see you guys lead the pack. I expect a lot out of you. I expect you 6 to get bold and to do your video this week. Because if you take action and then you initiate it, then others will follow your lead. Just realize what kind of a leader and capability you have by just stepping up and sharing your why in the group. And you can disclose it by saying, oh, Laura told me to do this. That's fine, because it'll be a public challenge. But I really want us to figure out, is our why big enough? And if it's not, figure out another why. Figure out what else will drive you. If it's not your own life, then do this for somebody else's life. Go drink some liquid courage, and you go for it. I'm going to drink some liquid courage and go for it. I'll share my why to the bigger group once I kind of know more answers with Leland's diagnosis and stuff, because then it'll be a hot mess. Anyways. Okay, I'm going to hit stop recording. You guys are awesome.